Okay, we're talking about lipids. Lipids are manufactured in the smooth yard. That's the organelle that responds for manufacturing lipids, or any type of lipid compound, like your steroids, your sex hormones, and so on. Proteins, on the other hand, are manufactured in the ribosome. Anything that's a protein. And they have a set of proteins listed here. You should need to know them. In your book, they list the different types of proteins that they have.
Ribosome, right?
You have transport proteins like hemoglobin. And you have, especially if I mentioned to you, if you have diabetes, one of the things that don't function is your receptor protein. The receptor protein is blocked, then the insulin can't get in the cells. Okay. And then receptor protein, you have what? Recognition protein. Those proteins that identify you and identify the foreign things that come in your body. Like if you're going to have a transplant, those are the proteins that spring into action and say, hey, there's a foreign in my body. Rejective. Those are recognition proteins. We all are born with those markers that recognize us as unique. Okay? Now the smallest molecules of proteins will be what?
Amino acids.
Know the smallest monomers of each one of these classes of compounds. For carbohydrates, the smallest molecules will be monosaccharides. Examples will be like glucose, fructose, galactose, ribose, and deoxyribose. Okay? And there are 20 amino acids in the body that necessary to build all the proteins in the body. Of these 20, 8 are essential. What does it mean by essential?
My body doesn't produce it.
Cannot manufacture it. It has to be in your diet. Okay. You have the same thing with fatty acids. There's some fatty acids the body cannot manufacture. The body has to have it in its diet. Okay. Okay, nucleic acids. Now, difference between nucleic acids and amino acids. What's the difference? What's the difference between nucleic acid and amino acids? Nucleic acids are macromolecules, right? Amino acids are monomers of another class of compounds. Amino acid is another class of compounds called what? Proteins.
Amino acids are what?
Proteins.
Just do it just now. So amino acids come from what? What class of compounds? The monomers of proteins. Nucleic acids is another class of compounds, and they make up what? The DNA and RNA. Okay, the smallest part or the monomer of nucleic acid is what? A nucleotide. And each nucleotide is made up of 3 three types of molecules: phosphates, sugar, and one of a nitrogen base. In the case of the DNA, they can be either adenine, thymine, guanine, or cytosine. In the case of RNA, it could be either what? Adenine, uracil, cytosine, and guanine. The difference between RNA and DNA is that RNA is made up of ribose sugar. It's also a small single-cell molecule. The DNA molecule is larger. It's a double-stranded molecule. Apart from having thymine difference, it's a double-stranded molecule. RNA usually serves as a messenger, as we'll learn later on. This is a nucleotide, a phosphate, a 5-carbon sugar, and nitrogen base. One of four. Each nucleotide only can carry one nitrogen base. Some of them may carry adenine. Some may carry thymine. This could be T, this could be A, and this could be G. Okay? Made up of material called genes, the units of heredity. And they provide the messenger substance. Okay, then yesterday we talked about the cell. Large organic molecules form the what? Organelles. The nucleus, which is found in pretty much the eukaryotic cell, carries the genetic material, which is the DNA. The nucleus of a living cell has the DNA as opposed to the nucleus of an atom. What's the nucleus of an atom have?
Protons, neutrons, electrons.
Protons and neutrons which form the mass number. Now, ribosomes are the protein manufacturing structures in the cell. They synthesize or manufacture proteins, all the proteins that you normally have. When you eat meat in another form of protein, the body breaks it down into the different amino acids and now rearranges them to form the protein that they need, like certain enzymes, hormones, and so on. Okay? Now, where does it make these proteins? Put together these amino acids in the ribosomes. Okay? Ribosomes hook the amino acids together in different forms to make the different types of proteins. Any protein that you need to have. For instance, hair is a protein, can be made in the ribosome. What's another? Name me some other proteins.
Keratin.
Keratin made in the ribosome. What else? Hemoglobin made in the ribosome. What else? Enzymes made in the ribosome. Fibrinogen made in the ribosome. Albumin that we check made in the ribosome. These are all proteins that made in the ribosome. Okay. Now the mitochondria is responsible for production of ATP. It's the powerhouse of the cell. Okay. Now all lipids, fatty products are made in the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The rough endoplasmic reticulum that has the ribosome that makes the protein. Okay. Now let's talk about digestion lastly. Digestion system. Digestion takes place within the tubes that form the digestive tract. It begins with the mouth and ends with the anus. I shouldn't be doing this one here because I want you to. Let me just select. Salivary glands secrete saliva, moisten the food, dissolve the substance so that it can be tasted. And it has what? Salivary amylase. You can take out your diagram so that you can go over that while we talk. And saliva also has antibiotics, you know, that kills bacteria. And the night while you're sleeping, saliva is not circulating so that when you wake up in the morning, you have the pouch food in your mouth. Almost everybody has that except the little baby. The little baby don't have those cavities in the mouth. It's not the baby's mouth is fresh. As they get older, they start to have little areas in the mouth where bacteria can hide. But as for us adults, we have a lot of places. Do you know there are over 600 types of bacteria that can be found in the mouth? The mouth would be one of the dirtiest parts of your body. Rivals the anus. You know that? That's why you have to strive to keep it clean. Taking in all this stuff in the day, all this food, don't you think bacteria is going to lurk there? Because that's they want to feed too. A lot of people neglect their mouth, but it's very, very important. And if you neglect it, bacteria are going to grow and deteriorate, cause the enamel, break down, the product will break down the enamel of your teeth, cause you disease. That's the one part of the body that I don't think people spend much time on. How many of you go to the dentist every 6 months?
I don't have to. I went there once, they spoil all my teeth, so I'm not going no more.
Every 6 months, you're supposed to go to the dentist.
I can't chew me.
That's right.
Both ends.
You'll live long.
What do they do?
I don't know.
Because your mouth
They remove one teeth,
can dictate what quality of health you have.
pierce the other one,
You
cut
get
the vein.
infected. You
So
know
I should
an
be coming there
infected
after 6 months.
can cause your death.
Yes, I know.
Yes, infected people have been known to die because their tooth got inflamed. It goes right down the bloodstream.
I know that.
Don't play with that. Now the esophagus is the tube that leads from the mouth to the stomach. Food passes down there by what sort of motion? Peristaltic motion. The bolus, which is what how the tongue forms the food is formed in the bolus. And that rolls down by peristaltic motion. Food then reaches the end of the esophagus, it presses against the esophageal sphincter, causing it to open, thereby allowing it to enter into the stomach. Now, the stomach is a thick J-shaped organ that has 3 important functions: storage, some digestion, and regulates the flow of food in the small intestine. Okay. Now, it secretes mechanical digestion, mechanical and chemical digestion. Mechanical is when it churns the food, right? Stores the food temperature and it churns it, washes it. Now, the stomach has, no worries yet, you learn about these in advance in 205. That's known as pepsinogens. Pepsinogen is the enzyme that produces an inactive form of pepsin. Right? Pepsin then acts on the proteins that are there. But if normally food is not in the stomach, this is what is there. This is inactive, and that's one of the ways in which the stomach protects itself, by having enzymes that are inactive when in the absence of food. It protects itself also by having a thick mucus. Another way by which it protects itself is by what? It changes its lining every 3 days. Now when food is digested, by the time the food leaves the stomach, it becomes like pea soup, and it's called acid chyme, C-H-Y-M-E. Now these are the ways I just mentioned. Does not secrete active pepsin, and inactive pepsin is pepsinogen. Mucus cells produce a mucus barrier, continued replacement of the stomach every 3 days, yeah.
So you said the inactive enzymes and the active food, you said like it protects the stomach when you don't eat, or?
Now if there is no food, those enzymes there are inactive so that they won't act on the stomach wall.
Okay.
That's why that nature has it that you have something that's useless then. The minute food gets in there, they convert now to the active form of pepsin. They now act on the food instead of the stomach wall. intestine is where food is, complete digestion of food takes place. Now, as we go along, the mouth is where carbohydrate first starts its digestion. Stomach is where protein first starts its digestion. When we get to the small intestines where all digestion is completed, fat starts its digestion there. Okay? The pancreas releases enzymes and buffers. Remember we talked about the stuff that converts, that keeps the acid from attacking the wall of the intestine. It's a base that neutralizes the acid so the intestine wall will be destroyed. Now, we have the liver which produces bile, and then we have what? The gallbladder which stores it. Bile plays a part in digestion in that it helps to prepare the fat to be digested. Bile emulsifies the fat so that lipase from the pancreas can digest it. The pancreas produces what? Pancreatic juice consisting of what? Some enzymes like lipase, pancreatic amylase, and trypsin for protein. Pancreas also has another duty in another system, endocrine system. And that system it produces two hormones, one called glucagon, one called insulin. One of them causes blood sugar to go up. Which one causes blood sugar to go up? Glucagon. The other one causes blood sugar to be depressed. That's insulin. Okay? Very important. The gallbladder stores the bile. It's a reservoir for bile. So, and that's from there that bile enters the small intestine. Bile does not go into the small intestine directly from the liver. The liver merely manufactures it or makes it by the breakdown, because red blood cells are broken down. If one red blood cell only lives for 120 days, it's broken down. And one is produced with bile. And when the bile is made by the liver, it's stored in the gallbladder, which squirts it into the intestine when it's needed. Okay, these are the end products of digestion. You can write these down. These are all monomers. Now, we had them already, but these are more organized. These are the end products of digestion. Start in the mouth with all the macromolecules, your steak and rice and peas and beans and whatever. These are all macromolecules here. By the time they get to the small intestines, this is what they are. Simple units, monomers. These are all monomers. Now, when you're through with this, one last thing I'll tell you about, and then I'll let you go. Then you should be able to write this down. You have to go home and study the stuff in the study guide now. Do all the stuff in the study guide. Or if you make good notes, you ought to be able to do this exam. Everything that I have in the exam, I've told you. I make mention of all those things at some point in time in the lecture.
Yeah.
Just remember.
I can't remember. I
I already told you, but
Now, one thing I must tell you, when you get an exam, examine every sheet. I've had people who've had exams, let's say, you have a set of sheets here, right? You turn here, number one, they put the name and anything, they do the exam, and then they read like this sheet here. Always look at the back of the exam. There may be a big questions at the back. Okay, so always make sure you examine all the sheets. People have left out whole questions because they figure, okay, it's finished here, right? They don't turn to the last page. But I think what I did with this exam, I gave you an extra sheet to write. No, I did that with the first exam. Notice I had to give you an extra sheet to write your essay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that happened with this one. So make sure you look at the last page. The last page, I think, has a question. So when you understand what I'm saying, class?
Yeah.
You turn the page and then you read the last sheet. You don't look at the back. There's always might be a question. Sometimes there may be a bonus. I'm not saying that I gave you bonus this time. Okay, I'm not done yet. Take time quickly. One important thing, I noticed somebody said they did not understand the wheel. This has to do with the two main types of reactions. Now you have this in your book. Now you have A to C. Now these separate structures here represent monomers. And this arrow is that's pointing out is telling you that something is lost here, which is water. And it gives you a clue that these 4, 5 units here are forming what? A polymer. By dehydration, synthesis, loss of water. Then the opposite is happening here. You're now breaking them up on the other side. So what is inserted here? Water. Water is inserted here so that this could be broken up back into its individual monomers. Now if I were to represent these by, say, nucleic acid and amino acid, which one of them would represent amino acids?
The A.
A, because amino acids are monomers. C will represent the nucleic acid. Okay? So that's basically what I want to let you know. Any question?
Yes. Can you go over hormones and enzymes?
Hormones can be split into hormones can be split into proteins and lipids. The ones that are lipids in form in nature are the ones that the sex hormones. Those are lipids in nature. The other hormones like glucagon and insulin, those are all protein in nature. But all enzymes are actually proteins. All enzymes are proteins, but not hormones. Some hormones are lipids, some hormones are proteins. Okay? So that's it. So I'll see you on Monday. Carbohydrates, lipids, protein. Basically, that's what makes up balanced diet. Enzyme. What to tell me? You tell me. What is an essential nutrient? No, that's not what I'm going to ask.
The body doesn't produce.
An essential nutrient is one which the body cannot make and must be in your diet. That's an essential nutrient.
And it's really important.
questions. But you know what I think? I have a feeling it's gonna be.
It has to be 8. So for instance, if you have, when you draw it, you end up with 4 out there. If it only has 4, how many need to fill its shell? 4?
4 more.
4 more. Well, it doesn't happen, it's not as simplified as that, but basically, it could even, we could do that either by sharing or by receiving. When it shares, it's called a covalent bond. When it donates, so that it can leave, like in sodium, it donates that one so that the outer shell remains 8, that forms an ionic bond.
No, when it shares, it's called covalent.
When it shares, it's a covalent bond. When it
It donates, it's an ion.
ionic.
What are we talking about again?
We are talking.
When an atom?
Yeah. When elements share or lose electrons. Elements. They call it. Not atoms. Okay, so 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. I'll text you guys. I'm gonna be here. I need to get started on that homework.
I'm gonna go to the honors.